is a HR job of the heart or of the mind? What do you think? Let us know. Share your thought about it in the comment again. Okay, this is the question that we are going to answer with our standout guest, Sana Qureshi. Hi,
Hi,
Sana.
Darine.
Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Darine. Thank you for having me. Um, it's really great to participate on such a platform where different people there share their ideas and experiences. So, thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. And I see you, people joining us. Bezad, who say hi. Justin, who is from Canada. Bezad, I believe you are from the UK. We have another LinkedIn user who says, I have an important question some and okay, so let us introduce ourselves and then we will dive into the question. I knew this topic will be fire. Right? So for those of you who may not know Sana, let me tell you a little bit about her. She's based in Dubai and she works as an HR manager. So Sana, you have a real passion in making HR innovative while finding new and creative ways to optimize the HR processes, creating a positive experience for the workforce. You believe that to be an effective HR leader, it is important to understand and adapt a balanced approach of the head and the heart, emphasizing the importance of compassion while being authentic and empathetic. You still believe there is a lot for you to accomplish and for the people around you. So, Sana, it's being said that HR professionals are emotional caregivers. Would you say that is true?
Well, it really depends that who is saying it, in what situation they are saying this. So I wouldn't comment on this whether this is true or not. It depends on the personal experiences of an individual. It could be true, it could not be true. So something that is a personal experience for everyone. But Darren, when you say that the HR should, whether they should think with their heart or their mind, we first need to define the mind and the heart. I would, my favorite is the heart, so I'll define the heart first. So, what does leading with the heart look like? So, the heart is the one that drives emotions. You embrace and exhibit characteristics such as empathy, compassion, authenticity, emotional resilience. You respond to your intuitions and attune your mind to your instincts. Heart means understanding the importance of well being of
Mm.
individuals that you work with. So this is my definition of leading with the heart. Now, what does leading with the mind how do you define leading with the mind? So the head is the one that provides the thinking, or if I may say rational thinking, leading to more tangible results. It is the knowledge and the insights that is very important, because you might have you might be well intentioned, but lack of information can lead sometimes to ineffective decisions. So my intentions might be good, but if I don't consider my mind, I may lead to ineffective decisions. So first we need to understand the definition of leading with mind and leading with the heart.
And that's very true. Thank you for like sharing those definitions based on your own experience, Sana, of what it means leading with the heart versus leading with the mind. And so, Sana, when I look at your profile, I see that you went to university where you studied HR, and then you have been building a successful career in the HR industry. And I feel like you are among the few people who have built a career around what they went to university for, which is great. So now, could you maybe tell us more about your role as an HR leader and how your role has evolved over the years?
Of course, my passion has always been, I've been working as a people profession for more than 12 years or so now. and I love what I do. I do it
Mhm.
with a lot of passion. I've worked for organizations in the UAE, and uh, again, my passion has always been with to deal with people. I love to understand what are they going through, what is that I can improve, where are the gaps. Communication is something which is very, very important with your people. Something that is a constant dialogue must go on with your people. So that's something that I really believe in. And to be an effective HR leader, it takes a balance again. It
Mhm.
takes a balance of the head and the heart. So intellectually, you need the ability to understand and use data to make business decisions. But it's also about being able to empathize with people, because at the end of the day, we are dealing with people. We are dealing with emotions. We are not dealing with machines. You need to strike, again, I would again and again say that you need to strike a balance between logic and emotions. A better leader is someone who adopts a steady approach, creating an environment to thrive for your people.
Yes, and you just said something that is very important, and I think now, especially in North America, it takes all the sense of it is like we are dealing with people, not with machine. And it looks like HR professionals are torn apart between the expectations of the company in terms of compliance, getting results, getting the job done, which is normal. But on the other side, the expectations from the employees to create and foster a fair, diverse, and motivational workplace. And it's particularly obvious in North America, where it just blew up in people's face. And for the past few months now, we have been talking about leadership crisis, HR crisis, great resignation. So now I know in the UAE, the dynamic is quite different, right? But have you personally, across like during the past 12 years, have you ever felt that there was a gap between what was expecting from you from the company side and what you wanted to do at heart, and what the employees were expecting from you as the HR leader?
Well, yes, I would say, Darren, the employees, they always have a different outlook towards the HR, and they have a lot of expectations from the HR. Because again, when you say, you have an HR manager in the organization, you have a people's person. The definition of an HR is a people's person. So employees definitely have great expectations from the HR manager or HR leader in the organization, and they feel that um, it they feel that it should be more towards the employees, or it should be employee centric. But we, at the end of the day, the HR community, we work in an organization. We have to maintain a discipline. We have to look into the employment regulations, the employment laws, based on which the company policies are established. So there are certain company policies established which we have to consider and treat everybody equally. We cannot go out of our way, to we cannot give an impression that we are biased to one employee, or we don't play favorites. We have to balance it again. We have to be a business partner to the organization, and at the same time we need to support our employees. We need to understand what they're going through. We need to understand their issues. We need to understand what are the gaps, and highlight them to the organization, to the top management, to improve, because that's the way, to go forward. um, a lot of times, we have been in situations where um we have directly or indirectly heard, or people have come to us and they've spoken to us. They've told us that, we have high hopes and expectations from the HR in terms of, different issues. So I try to always explain them that I completely understand you have these expectations and we are working towards it. We can improve it. However, there are limitations, and those limitations are guided by certain policies, certain employment laws, which again, you need to keep a balance.
Exactly, and this is where the exercise actually is the most challenging, I believe. So before we go further into the conversation, let's take a look at the comments and the questions from the audience. Please, I see many of you are watching the live. So if you have any comments, questions, the time is now, so we can all benefit from Sana's experience and expertise. So we have a question here, and I cannot see your name. Let me check here if I can see your name. Um, okay, from Raghavendran. Good evening. I have an important question. Some HRs and recruiters never bother to update the candidates if they are not selected. Oh, that's true. What is your advice to such HRs and recruiters who don't inform the candidates?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I can't read the name of the one who's posed this question, but yes, there is a process in every organization. When an HR receives or when an HR will post a job, they will receive hundreds and sometimes thousands of CVs. And we do mention always that, if your CV is shortlisted, and we, after screening, of course, once we screen the profiles, we shortlist the profiles. That's the time when we start the interview process. So you need to understand that we receive a lot of CVs, and we will only approach those candidates that are shortlisted for an initial round of an interview, and thereafter, of course, a face-to-face round of an interview. If it is clearly mentioned in the job post that you will be contacted if you're shortlisted, then
Yeah.
definitely you will be contacted. Thereafter, if you're not updated, uh, of course that's not professional. If you've been interviewed, you should be updated on the status of your progress, and what's the next step.
Yeah. So, but there is a difference here. Like, if you have been shortlisted and interviewed, and if not, and as you said, HR professionals receive like thousands, hundreds, and thousands of resumes. So they humanly anyway can't respond to every single person, and it's usually clearly stated in the job offer that only people who are shortlisted will be contacted. Then the situation where you have been interviewed, that's something different, and as Sana said, you should at least be informed if you didn't go through it, right?
Yeah. And
um
also, Darren, it's a lot of, the recruitment process today is automated.
yeah.
So if they're not shortlisted, then they should receive an email that you're not shortlisted.
Yeah. And so we have Simonetta. Hi, Simonetta from Dubai, who says it should be a blend of heart and mind. Exactly.
Yes.
um
Yes. Absolutely.
Abdullah here says, I would say a combination of both. And of course, the hard part is to find the right balance. And that's exactly what you have been talking about, Sana, which is good. We have here, we have here, okay, a couple of questions. I'm going through all your questions here. So we have a question from Justin. Hi, Justin, who says, how do you best communicate with your employees on a regular basis?
Justin, by having Air Mason, through Air Mason. So Justin knows very well what I'm saying.
Okay.
Um, Jokes apart, his question is, how do you best communicate with your employees on a regular basis? So yes, um, this reminds me of technology. So,
Mm-hmm.
giving you an example, today all your leave processes are automated. So Back in the days, it was very traditional. You used to have a paper leave application, and you used to go to your approving manager to approve your leave application, and they used to review it. And I am definitely sure that once they receive your application, you are in front of them standing, so they would tell you, please have a seat. Where are you going? Are you going with family? Okay, how, I mean, have you already planned your trip? So there was a conversation, there was a communication. Today, because of technology, you apply leave and it's just approved. um, you don't get to speak, or you don't get to communicate in the sense, where are you going, what are you doing? So I think you need to communicate more frequently, not through technology, face to,
Mm.
because I think technology, of course, technology is very important. Technology helps you to optimize the processes, but again, technology is a machine. We don't have to forget to interact with humans. That's
Yeah.
something which is very important. Take out some time, have some sessions with your employees, have some engagement with them, have a one-to-one meeting with them. Try to find different and creative ways to communicate with them face to face.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very
Have
true.
check-in
And
sessions. Have check-in sessions. You can keep in check-in session. Would you like to check in with the HR on so and so date? Please book a schedule.
check-in sessions actually are quite good. And I remember when I was leading a team in West Africa, uh, like like Fridays. Uh, for me, Fridays I had arranged my schedule, so Fridays were free from me to meet with every single one of my team members. It was a lot of energy, but it was a lot of passion. And when you get to know your employees, you know what they are passionate about, what they like to do, what they don't like to do. Like, it helps you, to create experiences where they are fully engaged, because you know how to adjust and make your workplace evolve based on your people. Because I like to say a company is as successful as its people. If your people are not successful, your company cannot be successful, or at least not on the long term. Again, right? And we have a few more comments here from. Okay, I see you here from Maisa, who says, a very good feedback from the candidate who didn't made it through for the second interview. They were so thankful for the update. We should take time to thank candidate for showing up the day of the interview. And that's a question, actually, that's a recurring questions. I see your question. So that's a recurring questions. We have a couple of people who asked the same question. We know it can be frustrating. And and then, like, as we said, it's a matter of being respectful, and implementing habits that will ensure that everyone feel respected, and for the time either you have been selected or not, through the interview process. Bezat here says, with the recruiting, I do agree there that is tough, but more importantly, HR are the one to be people's people, and they're in everything.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we are people. The HR professionals, they are people's person. But again, when you're recruiting, you receive so many CVs, so many profiles, and my apologies, but sometimes quite irrelevant profiles. So, for example, if I'm posting for an accountant's position, I have received some of the funniest resumes, and you cannot respond to everybody, and you cannot
Yeah.
you cannot interview everybody. And it's, again, it's a process. So of course, we have a job description, we have posted a job description. You need to see if that's matching, your if that's matching your profile, if that's matching your education or your background,
Of
then
course.
apply. And when you apply the CVs are received by the recruitment team. They screen it, they shortlist it, and after screening and shortlisting, they invite you for an interview. But again, it's very difficult for an HR to respond to each and every profile. Uh, I do understand what the candidates, they might go through it, but they have to understand as well that it's just
That's the
it's
way it
just
is sometimes, like there is, I mean, we can always improve processes, but then it's hard, to find processes that can answer every single person expectation, right? We have a good question from Samir, and thank you, Samir, for asking this question. How do you manage organization talent, and what is the tool for feedback?
so, Sami, there are different ways of managing talent within your organization, and there are different tools for feedback. Now, this again depends from organization to organization and what kind of tools they are using to give feedback. It also depends on the headcount of the organization. Is it a small medium enterprise, or is it a multinational organization? How many I mean, what is the structure internally? uh, Feedback, of course, feedback is something very important. It's a two-way process.
Mhm.
Sometimes you circulate surveys and receive their feedback on certain topics, and then of course give them feedback as well. So it really depends on the organization and what kind of tools they're using.
Okay, thank you. So we will get back to the questions a little bit later and keep those questions popping. If we don't answer the questions during the live, rest assured that we read all the comments and questions and we respond all of them. Okay. Sana, I would like to know what is the most important lesson that you have learned over your career so far?
Be honest to yourself. Be honest to yourself. Stay strong. There are a lot of challenges for HR leaders, but you need to keep going. You need to maintain, again, I would say that again, you need to maintain a balance. Um, don't don't take it close, or a lot of things will happen, because again, I say the HR is both a business partner to the organization, and an HR is an employee advocate. So we have to balance it. We are in between. We are trying our best, and you know we have to keep moving. So similarly, again, over the past experiences, I have learned, number one, as I said, be honest to yourself, because when you're honest to yourself, definitely you are honest to the rest. Stay strong and keep going.
Wow, that's powerful, people. That's powerful. Stay strong, keep going, and always stay true to yourself. And this is very important because we see it happening too often. And I want to mention that, especially with women, everyone is affected by this, but it disproportionately affects women. Where when women reach the leadership role, right? She she feels like she has to behave in a way that is not authentic to her, right? And at some point in her career, a woman, and as I said, it happens to men and women both, but women are more disproportionately affected by this. At some point, when you feel like you are not aligned, what you're doing is not aligned with who you are, because you have been behaving in a way based on what you thought the company's standards were, what you thought people were expecting from you as a woman leader, when actually it's about staying true to yourself so you can become the leader you were meant to be. You can have a greater impact, and most importantly, you can stay aligned with who you are. Here in North America, with the crisis and everything, the COVID and everything that happened with it, we see more and more women stepping down from leadership roles because they either burn out, or they either can't sustain the fact that what they are doing and the way they are doing it is not aligned with who they are. So, as you said, Sana, Staying true to yourself is very important, especially as a leader.
as a leader. And also, uh, we understand that, you have different backgrounds, um, and that's what makes, your different diversity, and people from different regions, they come together to an organization, and we need to respect that. For example, myself, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I am an employee, I am an HR. All this, all these experience is what I'm made of. So I think we need to respect everybody's experiences that they bring into the organization. um, of course, definitely everybody has their own story, and we need to respect them. We need to respect them who they are. uh, you just need to understand that an organization is not made out of just one person. It's made up of people, and we need to understand that people are different, they behave differently, but what we can do is try to respect their opinions, their differences.
And actually, that's a great transition to the next question from Maiza, who asks, how do you encourage employees, especially those who are introverts, to engage in the activity?
Yeah, that's again, everybody has a different personality. So you will find introverts, you will find extroverts, you will find people who are very emotional, you will find people who are very nervous, you will find people who are extremely happy. Dealing with introvert people, perhaps, if you have had an activity in your organization and you saw that a couple of people did not participate, or they were hesitant, or you felt that they are introvert or they are shy for whatsoever reason, don't react at that point of time. After the activity, you go and have a word with them individually, speak to them. I saw you were quiet and you didn't really respond, or you didn't really participate. Is there something that I can help you with? Is that something that is bothering you? Are you shy to participate? Have a dialogue with them, keep that communication flowing, and then help them out. Try to offer them some trainings. Try to coach them. Have a mentor assigned to them. You need to first understand, you don't need to embarrass introverts, that they did not participate. No, it's fine, everybody is different. Everybody um, is has a different personalities, as I said. But what we need to understand them individually. We need to understand that what can make them, what can help them, what can make them better to participate. Again, it's the communication. You need to understand them better, you need to spend some more time with them, and then help them, offer them trainings, sit with them, have some coaching sessions with them, once in a once in a while, maybe once in a week, and try to record the progress.
That's very smart. Yeah, record the progress. You know, it's good for you as the HR professional, but it's also good for the employee to see his or her progress. Sana, we are hitting the 30 minutes mark. Thank you so much. For those of you watching live and replay, please keep posting your questions, your comments. We will go through every one of them and we will answer all of them. If you are based in the UAE, and you would like to promote and help support the women leaders in your organizations, I'm hosting a free webinar in the upcoming weeks. So if you want more details, the link is in the comment below. And Sana, I want to
Yes.
thank you again. Thank you for all the valuable insights you shared with us. Thank you for for bringing your experience and your expertise in a way that was empowered and empowering. Thank you.
Darren, thank you so much. You give so much of positive energy. More power to you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. And I will see you next week, same day, same time, for another live episode of Stand Up from the Crowd. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.